Okay, so right before I was done with all the edits of this video, I just got word that Devon Tracy at Atheism is Unstoppable on YouTube had his main channel, Atheism is Unstoppable, the original, banned from the platform without any warning, without any strikes, for supposedly repeatedly violating the hate speech policy. I talked about in a stream previously that the purge is coming. It's why it's very important for you guys to subscribe to my second channel and to my BitChute and follow me on all the other social medias. You guys know the drill. But right now, you guys can find Devon on Atheism is Unstoppable 2 on YouTube while it's still up. You can find him on his other channels. I believe Resurrection and Tracy Remix are still up. And you can find him on BitChute. He also has a website, atheismisunstoppable.com, I believe. You can find him there. But yeah, they just obliterated his channel. We don't know if he's going to be able to get it back. Years put into that channel, no strikes currently on that channel, but YouTube snapped its fingers and wiped him out. And it can happen to any of us. It can happen to me tomorrow. It can happen to me before you even see this video. The purge is real. It is here. It's happening. The crackdown is happening. And you guys need to start diversifying where you follow your favorite creators, because tomorrow they could be snapped out of existence on all the major platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, I have an exciting announcement for you. On Thursday, July 2nd, I will be debating the Serf Times. That is the YouTuber that I made this response video to on the whole Michael Brown situation. This response video, which was so devastating, so elegantly put together, so insightful and intelligent, that the Serf Times actually did a non-reaction reaction to it, where he basically sat still, added no commentary as I ran through his points, point by point, up until the point where he felt so ashamed about the video that he deleted it off of his YouTube channel.
What I found to be problematic in that original video was obviously the, at best you could call it glib or flippant use of the term walking while black to explain why the cops had originally stopped Michael Brown. In the video surveillance footage, it does clearly show that Michael Brown was encountering an altercation with the store manager.
Now, I've never had that situation happen before. I've never made a response video so effective, so wonderful, so beautiful, so accurate, so stunning, so elegant that it actually led to the erasure of something from the internet. And I just have to say, while that wasn't my goal, and I would prefer for this inaccurate video that I completely shredded to still be up, wow, that's pretty impressive. That's an amazing video. That's unbelievable accuracy, pinpoint refutation of all the absurd claims, and, you know, it's okay for you guys to be impressed with my work, because I am impressed with my work, because I made that video less than an hour after watching his video, and I didn't even need to review the DOJ report on Michael Brown. That's how familiar I was by the claims that are made by people who still, to this day, years later, perpetuate the myth of Michael Brown. But before I delve into this, I just want to say, go to the links in the description box of this video, follow me on Parler, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Minds, follow me on BitChute, follow my second channel, which is the backup channel for this channel, and go to my Teespring store, get my new design, my new t-shirt, use promo code DUMBPROMO for 10% off. It's amazing. So yeah, do all that, please. Alright, let's get into the announcement. Now, I don't expect this debate to be particularly productive. I actually took the time to call into his Twitch stream the other day to have a little sneak preview version of the debate that's going to be happening on this channel Thursday, July 2nd. And I realized that we're dealing with a full-on crime denier, and we're dealing with somebody who is deeply entrenched in the Dunning-Kruger effect. Somebody who is such a novice at something, somebody who knows so little about it, that they are completely unaware of what they don't know. Because I had this conversation, I wrecked him once again on every single point, went point by point, and this guy was clearly not following anything that I said. There's a great breakdown of this on Devon Tracy's channel, Atheism is Unstoppable 2, where he actually live reacts to this debate, and it is amazing just watching back and seeing it through somebody else's eyes. This guy completely misunderstand every single thing that I'm saying because his goal is not to debate. His goal is not to engage in the arguments. He's not even really that interested in the topic. You can tell by the expression on his face that the topic makes him uncomfortable. This is a complete and total regressive that's dealing with large amounts of white guilt, and it's clearly obvious in every way that he reacts to what I'm saying. He is actively, throughout the course of this little snippet of a conversation, denying the facts about crime, while also trying to get me to explain why those facts are the way they are, while also trying to paint my explanation before it even comes out of my mouth as somehow a racialized or racist explanation. Meanwhile, I am doing the compare and contrast between cities like New York and Chicago, which shows specifically that in terms of crime, demographics are not necessarily your destiny. And I'm outlining this wonderful case that if you are intelligent, if you are clever, if you are interested, if you are curious, if you are comfortable manning up and talking about these topics with somebody, you could refine that argument and use it against people who are making race-based arguments. It's a uniquely counter-racist argument that I'm putting forward that happens to be rooted in fact, but he's so uncomfortable with the topic that he can't even see that. He is completely misunderstanding what I'm saying. He doesn't get what per capita crime rates are. He denies them while at the same time saying that you're racist for pointing them out. He keeps demanding an explanation when we can't even agree on what the what is. And if we can't agree on what the what is, how can we possibly move on to why something is? It's really amazing. And even though he uploaded this on his own channel, and at this point, I did not make this video to let you know that this exists on his own channel, he's still pretty close to underwater for something that really his own fans would have been the only people to have seen. And he thinks this is a winning exchange, even though he barely says anything. He barely adds anything to the conversation because there's nothing to add to the conversation because I'm just laying out the facts. He thought this was good enough to cut out in a 30-minute section and put up on his channel. Even some of the comments, again, from his own audience, I would assume, are like, dude, how could you think this was a good idea to upload? You're getting wrecked point by point by point by point. That's the thing with these guys in general, and this guy specifically. They completely do not know what they don't know. I used the exact same criticism or the exact same comparison technique between New York and Chicago to show the differences in policing practices and how that is far more determinative of what crime or what level of crime you would have in a major metropolitan area. And Vosh did a reaction to that video, and even Vosh knew and reacted to his audience what I was saying and was telling them, guys, don't be stupid, don't be ignorant. He's literally not saying the thing that you're saying. So we're dealing with a guy who is less aware of criminal justice than Vosh. Think about that for a second. That's who I'm going to be debating. That's who I'm going to be schooling. That's who I'm going to be teaching the basics of criminal justice. That's who is going to try to formulate arguments against me. Somebody who can barely put together coherent sentences, and in this 30-minute or so exchange that I had with him, barely said anything at all, let alone anything of value. So tune in July 2nd at 8 p.m. right here on this channel. I will be debating this guy. It's really going to be me teaching this guy the basics of criminal justice. It will be a wonderful time. As always, I will link all of the sources in the description of this video. Now, let us talk about yet another piece of the myth that is Michael Brown that was put forward by this guy when he was going over my video, because even though point by point I completely obliterated every false, misleading argument that this guy put forward, he decided that out of desperation he was going to dig up this clip that was first surfaced publicly, despite the fact that it was publicly available prior to this, by documentary filmmaker and student of Michael Moore, Jason Pollock, in the film Stranger Fruit. Now, this footage supposedly shows Michael Brown, according to Jason Pollock, making an exchange of marijuana for the cigarillos that he later did a strong arm robbery in the store for. Now, one of the things that you should notice is that it's dark out when Mike Brown is walking up to the convenience store from this car that he's getting out of. And the reason it's dark out is because this video comes from 1 o'clock in the morning that same day. Michael Brown was shot at 12 o'clock noon in broad daylight. So this footage is not footage of Brown entering the store at the time that is germane to the case. However, the argument put forward is that Brown made an exchange of weed for cigarillos and for some reason told these people to hold the cigarillos behind the counter for him. So later that day, when he comes in and he comes to get his cigarillos and he ends up pushing this guy in what is a strong arm robbery, that's just a complete and total misunderstanding. Now, this is irrelevant for 3 different reasons. 1, the video is not germane to the situation. 2, Brown was not shot for the robbery. He was stopped for the robbery. Brown was shot for attacking Officer Wilson, reaching for his gun, then charging at Officer Darren Wilson after he reached for his gun. This is all 100% proven as laid out in my previous video by the forensic evidence. 3, this exchange didn't happen. What you have here is a lying filmmaker who released an isolated clip in his documentary that only works in the manner that he tries to make it work visually if you cut the clip where he cut it. What you can see if you actually let the surveillance video play further is that they restocked the items that supposedly they were just holding for Mike Brown. This is because they did not accept the exchange. In fact, you can see Brown take his weed and go back out of the store with his weed. This isn't some conspiracy. This isn't something that was hidden, that shines a new light, that is evidence of Michael Brown being totally innocent for the reason why he was shot by Officer Darren Wilson. This is actually motive for the robbery. Brown obviously didn't have the money for the cigarillos that he wanted. The store would not accept the weed for the cigarillos, so he came back later that day to rob the store for the cigarillos. In fact, probably the only reason that Brown didn't rob the store right there and then is because there were 3 store clerks that were ready to get at him if he had tried. Unlike when he came back at noon, when he only had to fight 1 store clerk as shown in the video. So this video is proof of nothing. It shows nothing. And the idea that it was suppressed or hidden for 2 years is completely and totally ridiculous. This footage was likely received by the filmmaker from the Brown family when it was turned over to the Brown family when they filed a civil suit against the city of Ferguson. This footage is actually referenced in the Department of Justice report. The fact that the media didn't bother to cover this until some documentary filmmaker took this completely out of context and tried to construct a narrative around it is more proof of the myth of Mike Brown rather than anything that would exonerate him. Brown did the robbery. This proves nothing. Watch the full video. Don't watch an excerpt from a film that's cut deceptively on a network like CNN. It's free and available online. It will be linked in the description box of this video. If you want a full in-depth breakdown of this video, I will link Andrew's video from Don't Walk Run Productions where he went over this back in 2017, and you will see all of the points that I'm arguing. I'm also going to link the individual video of the full video down in the description box below so you can check it for yourself, see if somehow you can find a new myth of Mike Brown for this person to desperately latch on to. But that's where I'm going to leave this right now. Again, the debate is Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope you guys tune in. I hope you have a great time. I'll see you guys then if you tune in. But that's where I'm going to leave it. You guys know the drill with the liking, sharing, subscribing, and all that jazz for my videos. Follow me on my social media accounts. Support links in the description box of this video if you choose to support me. Till next time.